pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if we could just stay standing for a moment and just think in your thoughts and prayers of the conflicts that are going on around the world. It kind of makes some of our issues at home small and meaningless compared to folks that are getting hit with rockets. So if we can just keep that in our thoughts and prayers. And for our armed services. Thank you. So welcome everybody. Tonight's Village of Highland Falls monthly meeting. Later in the agenda, we do a little differently for the summertime. We just have one meeting for the summer months. People on vacations, and folks are away, so we try to accommodate as best as possible. So later in the agenda, we'll be approving one meeting for July, one meeting for August. Naturally, if something comes up, we need an emergency meeting or a special meeting, we have those. We try to refrain from those, but if things do come up in a surprise, we can react to that. So I want to welcome everybody tonight. Thank you all for your attendance in the meetings. The meetings have been going very well. We appreciate the interaction. We appreciate the respect, both from the board and from the community. And I want to thank you all for that as we continue to move forward with the board and the agenda of the village in the coming months and years. Are there any local organizations that have anything they want to bring up other than something we're going to approve on the agenda tonight? Any elected officials in the room that I didn't see or mention? Okay. Public comment on agenda items. If you need a copy of the agenda, it's right over on that bench over there. Wow. Nothing?
I think, should I mention just a clarification for number 15? Or?
Nope, we got that. We're gonna cover
If
it.
I don't have to say anything. Okay.
I'm Erin Hiller from AOG, for those of you that don't know me. We are doing a developers conference on Friday. We have about 50 local builders and some graduate builders coming in from out of state to discuss different opportunities, mostly on Main Street right here in the village. So I have a flyer if anyone is interested, as well as my card. We just want to make sure that you guys are aware of everything that we're discussing. We have the couple properties that AOG owns. The plan is to find someone to lease those from AOG and develop on them in keeping with all the zoning conversations we've been having for the past year plus, in keeping with the spirit of the village. We're not trying to change anything. We want to keep this beautiful hometown history. So there's some information on this flyer. I'm an open book. I can't get around as much as I would like to. I can be pretty busy over there, but if you have any questions, feel like you don't know something, you want more information, just call me, text me, email me, I'll get you whatever you need. But I do want everyone to know June 20th, this is when we're having this conference. We have invited the town board as well as the village board to attend as well. So they will be there in the loop having conversations with everybody. So, thank you.
Whenever we don't get taken today, we'll have it at Village Hall if you need it. Okay. So we'll move on to new business. The first thing on the agenda tonight is a congratulations to the James I. Mock Trial team. And before I stand up and do a certificate presentation, I just want to say that I had the privilege of seeing you folks in action at the Orange County Court building. And I have to tell you that, when we do our budget, we're always looking at what we spend for engineers and lawyers. And I have to tell you that, especially to our village attorney, there is some real talent in that pool. Phenomenal job. You all did a phenomenal job, whether it was a witness, whether you were the prosecution side, whether you were the defense side. I didn't have that much time to stay, but I found myself just putting off the meeting I had to go to and just saying I was going to be late because I didn't want to leave. You all did a fantastic job, and I know not all of you were here tonight, but just the articulation, the way you interacted with the judges, and just how you, the demeanor of how you acted in court. I mean, it felt like it was a real trial, and I know that you guys put a lot of time and effort in it. I had the opportunity to speak with one of your coaches, Eliza, am I saying that right? And she filled me in on a bunch of information and the amount of hours you folks put in. And I believe you went all the way to regional?
Yeah, we went to the regional finals.
Went to the regional finals, but you also took this district area, correct?
Yeah, we won the county and then went on to regional.
So they won the county and they went on to state regionals. And I knew some of the other communities, and I knew some of the coaches there, and of course it was great that I was able to gloat with some of the folks I knew and how we kicked their butt. So I appreciate you coming tonight. I know some of you had finals going on, and I moved you guys around, so I'm just going to, when I call you up, just please stand in front of the table here, and so we can recognize you folks. And I know not all of you are here, but I'm going to do the names anyway. So Emery, is Emery here? Thank you. Jacques?
He's on the senior track.
That's fine. Bryce? Trip. Khalid? Trip. Constantine? Yeah, please. Allison? Shiloh? Bella? Carson? Addison?
She's on the senior track.
And Amy. Amy, the coach.
I am the coach.
So I'll do the coach first because, Mike, where would you guys be without the coaches? So in recognition of your exceptional coaching and unwavering commitment as a cherished member of the Village of Island Falls community, we proudly congratulate you and extend our sincere thanks for your contributions. So thank you very much. And for all our young folks in the community, not just here tonight, but those who do small things and big things, for all you folks standing up here tonight, in recognition of your outstanding achievement, dedication, and talent as a valued member of the Village of Island Falls community and as a valued member of the youth of our community, we proudly congratulate you and extend our sincere thanks for your contributions and success. So please. Your parents are extremely proud of you. You should be. I know I am as the mayor, and I know the board is. We talked about it at length. And I thank you guys for coming to just give you a little recognition. You all deserve it very much. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. It's a lengthy agenda, but you can feel free to leave if you want to. I wouldn't think.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Oh. All right, that's good. All right, so move on. Next on the agenda is to approve bills and claims for warrant 2412C for fiscal year 24-25 in the full amount of $122,480.17. There's a breakdown on the agenda, and it includes $1,039.68 of prepaids. So I need a motion and a second to approve that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion by trustee Ramus, seconded by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion carried. Next is approved bills and claims for warrant number 2501 for fiscal year 25-26. And just so the public knows, this is that wacky time of year that we have some stuff from previous budget, and we have, just because of the way our fiscal year goes, we have some from previous budget and this budget. You might see that 1 or 2 more times. So fiscal year 25-26 in the total amount of $407,033.69. Again, there's a breakdown on the agenda. I need a motion for that. Motion by trustee Gargiulo, seconded by
Second.
trustee Ramos. All in favor?
Discussion?
Sure.
Just a statement. I did express at the last meeting, and I just want to say it again, that I do desire to catch up in the billing department because we do have some vendors that we have outstanding balances with and some that we are a little behind on, kind of playing catch up. So I just want to state that I would like to see some assessment and alteration to the billing procedure that we catch up on all of the items.
Yeah, and we do have a small executive session tonight, so that part of that will be taken care of. Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Next on the agenda is to accept the following minutes as written. Regular meeting, May 5th, 2025. I think we were all there. So we'll do these separate. So regular meeting, May 5th, you have them in front of you. If you're good with that, I need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Motion by trustee Olivia, second by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor? Yes?
Yes.
Opposed? Abstentions? Second one is workshop meeting, May 14th, 2025. Again, that's in front of you. The motion,
Motion?
second. Trustee Gargiulo, motion by trustee Olivia, by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? And the last one is special meeting, May 28th. I need a motion for that.
Motion?
All right, you're on a roll. Motion by trustee Olivia, seconded by,
I'll second.
well, she beat me, trustee Gargiulo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Perfect. Okay, next on the list is to approve the lowest responsible bidders for the chemical bid for fiscal year 25-26 per recommendation of VRI Environmental Services, operator Dale Post. So we have that in front of us. Some of them, it's not necessarily one particular company that supplies them all, but whoever the low bid came in for the different chemicals that we use at the plants. So we have that in front of you. I believe it was Surpass Chemical, Sion, and JCI Jones Chemical. So we'll approve the low bids on that. I need a motion and a second.
Motion to approve?
Motion by trustee Olivia, seconded by
Second.
trustee Ramos. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next is a resolution supporting the Fair Housing Act and setting the public hearing date. This is for our CDBG. CDBG program is actually federal money that the county runs through the organization Community Development Block Grants, CDBG. And so the county gets the money from the Fed, and the Fed has a committee, and we're able to put in for grants. The grant that we're putting in for this year is pursuing the funding through the Orange County Community Development Block Grant Program for ADA accessibility improvements to the Highland Falls Senior Center. It will be milling and repaving and striping a 14,000 square foot of asphalt parking lot, replace a 120-foot long, 4-foot high retaining wall, install handicap accessible ramp along east side of Senior Center. The senior center functions are not only as a senior center, but it does also do village board meetings when we need it. It's a village emergency coordination center when there's an emergency. God willing, none. And it is the approved county voting location. So I know some of the folks on the committee. I've reached out to a couple of those. I feel very strongly that we're going to get it. It is in desperate need of it. So I think it'll be fantastic, and I think once it's all finished, it'll be terrific for ease of access, to be able to walk. We did improve the lighting there now, but between the wall and the stairs there is just awful. So I think it'll be really good once the parking lot's done, we have the ramp for easy access. So basically what we're doing tonight is, I'm not going to read all this, but I will read the last few items. It says, be it further resolved that the municipality shall publicize this resolution. Through this publicity shall cause owners of real estate developers and builders to become aware of their respective responsibilities and rights under the federal fair housing law. Be it further resolved that the Highland Falls will at a minimum include but not be limited to the printing and publicizing of this resolution, a fair housing public notice, and other applicable fair housing information through local media, community contacts, and placement on the village website and other social media, distribution of posters, flyers, and any other means by which to bring attention to those affected, the knowledge of their respective responsibilities and rights concerning fair housing. Be it further resolved that a public hearing will be held at the Village of Highland Falls Senior Center located at 15 Drew Avenue, Highland Falls, New York, 10928 on July 7th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Be it further resolved that the foregoing resolution shall take effect immediately. On a motion by
I'll make the motion to set the public hearing.
Trustee Reyes, second by Trustee Gardullo. Any questions from the board? Okay, all in favor? Actually, I'm sorry, we need a roll call.
Trustee Olivia?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Hey.
Trustee Gardula?
Yes.
Mayor DeSalvo?
Yes. Okay, thank you very much for that. I think that's going to be great. Okay, next, I have a budget transfer. Whereas on the June 16, 2025 Village Board meeting, the Village Board approved the budget transfer from the general fund to workers' compensation. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the following budget transfer be approved: $287.40 from 601-607-927 general fund to 986-245-0658 workers' compensation. On a motion by
Motion.
Trustee Olivia, seconded by Trustee Gardullo. Any questions? Okay, roll call.
Trustee Olivia?
Yes.
Trustee Reyes?
Yes.
Trustee Gardula? Mayor DeSalvo?
Yes. Okay, motion carried. Thank you, folks. So next on the agenda is something that I actually can't wait for. We had a couple different vendors that we looked at, price-wise, and what we were going to get for the money, and the beautiful examples we saw for a new village website, which is way overdue. So there's a couple quotes we got. At the present, we use Bellacito, our website developer. The program we use is WordPress, which is outdated. No longer has updates available. The website is hard to get navigate for the public. It is awful for the public. It's awful for me, and I'm on it daily. Revised pricing is locked for 5 years and fully optimizes for mobile use. So not everybody has computers at home. The new website will allow you to, it'll transition onto your cell phone. A lot of communities have this, and we are just behind the 8 ball on it. So this is going to be huge. The provider offers fully customized web design and migration time for up to 8 months. The good thing about this company is that we should be up and running probably way before the end of the year or by the end of the year. They're a thorough organization. They're in the business. The county uses them. They're an approved vendor. So that was another good reason. So we're recommending it. Civic Plus is the name of the company. We believe that their standard designs will meet the needs of the village at the time, and the website for optimized and mobile use. Pricing is locked for the first 3 years. Utility payments are easily integrated, which is your water, your sewer, and your taxes. Everything will be more user-friendly. And where we're getting the money for this is because by the grace of God, in some sense that comes out of Albany, it does occur, I would say every like 20 years. We were released from the MTA tax, so normally we budget for paying the MTA tax. But thankfully, through the grace of, I'm assuming that they were on a break or something, when they took our county out as one of the counties that we don't have to budget for and pay anymore. So it's a benefit to the school, it's a benefit to the town, it's a benefit to us. So we're using those funds to offset the funds for the new website, and I think it's money well spent. So again, it would be for the Civic Plus, and the total 3-year package is $9,900. Did I miss anything, clerk? I'd like to have a motion and a second. I'd like us to move forward on this. I think it's good for the community. I think the community wants it, because that's all I ever hear is that the website stinks. Actually, use another word, but I won't use it on here. So I need a motion, I need a second. We can have a discussion if you'd like. I have no problem with that, but I'd like to get this forward and get this accomplishment. Some of us ran on it, so I think it's important to move forward. Motion by trustee Ramos. Is there a second?
Discussion?
Right after we get a second.
I'll second it.
Seconded by trustee Gargiulo. Absolutely discussion.
In reviewing both of the contracts presented, there were definitely things that I liked about each of them and things that I didn't like about each of them. I do think that the Civic Plus is definitely higher than what we are paying right now for our website, but it obviously is something that we need to implement. I had just a couple questions that I didn't get out earlier today. Was the company that we currently use, did they not have a alternative to the program that we're currently using? I understand that there were no updates to it, but did they not have anything else to offer?
They do.
Okay.
And I will tell you that and I don't like to, I'm not one of those people that like to, talk bad about business, but in all honesty, we're trying to provide something here for the community residents. They're just not user-friendly. It's not what you need if you're trying to put out information and you're trying to put out a product that you want residents to be able to participate in. So maybe it was good when we had it for a short period of time, but I mean, anybody who's spent 5 minutes on our website, I mean, you just get, I have to take a Dramamine. The front page is just, it's messy. Notices are tough to find out. Special notices are very tough to find out. Just being able to update things is cumbersome. And, we're in a technology phase now, and we need to just move along with it. And I think other municipal governments locally will probably make a change similar once they see. I mean, this company has a 3-click rule, which means when you go to the website, they want you to find what you're looking for in 3 clicks. I challenge anyone, other than looking at the main screen, to go find anything on our website in 3 clicks. I challenge you. So it's going to be leaps and bounds. And the ability for people to go on your cell phone, which you can't do now. And I don't think any website in town, I can't speak to the school, but I don't know if in town either. I don't know if they do or not. But this will be in bringing us into the most current century.
Yes, the 3-click policy was one of the things that I really did like about this company. They definitely seem like they have a lot to offer. I think it will be beneficial. I'm a little worried about the cost of it because I think what we're paying for in this quote is the base price, and all of the additional items are additional prices. So I'm curious to see how that will actually turn out once we transfer. But I am very much looking forward to a new website. My last question on it would just be, was this discussed with the IT guy? Did he go over this?
Yeah.
We did look at it, get an opinion on that.
Yes, he did.
Reviewed all of them.
Okay.
And I apologize, I misspoke, the top one was revised. It's Civic Plus, the total for 3 years was $13,442.80. So we're only worried about the $5,000 for the first year, and then it drops down to $4,100, $4,200, $4,200. So the total's 13, but it's over 3 years. And we budgeted $8,500 for MTA tax, so the money's there. And again, it's well spent.
And I navigated through the municipalities and the websites, and I thought this is really what we need.
Yeah.
We actually need. I went as far as to Binghamton, college areas and stuff, and I just felt this was the best one too. It is costly, yeah, but sometimes that is what it is.
The other company revised was a little cheaper, but I think they also had the loopholes where we would run into a lot more costs going down the road, and it's going to take them much longer to move forward.
Right, almost a year.
The Civic Plus, in their standard package, I think we're going to cover everything we need. I don't think we're going to have anything too out of the ordinary other than those costs. And I'll eat my words if we do, but I'm almost certain that we are going to live in that number. And again, we're breaking it over for 3 years. We're not paying the full amount in year one. So budget-wise, we're fine. The money's there. And believe me, once the service is up, the residents will thank us for spending that money wisely.
So, talking about the budget, obviously this year we're going to take it out of the MTA line, we'll do the budget transfer.
Yeah.
When we start to do the budget next year, will we still continue to keep an MTA budget line in? Should all be changed or not?
No, we'll probably change the title to either we'll add the 8,500 to IT, or we'll maybe just keep it for website. We'll just label it different for now. I don't foresee, it was a long fight to get rid of the MTA tax, especially for counties like ours. So I don't see it coming back, but you're not wrong. And if it comes back, we'll have to cross that bridge when we get there. So if there's no more questions, I'll call the question.
Okay.
And I'll do a roll call on this.
Trustee Liggett?
Yes.
Trustee Ramos?
Yay.
Trustee Gardula? Yes. Mayor Sal?
Yes. Thank you very much for that. That's really good. And it even has better ADA. Like even our ADA, I mean, I'm saying this on public recording, but even our ADA with our website is not up to stuff. So that takes care of a whole other group of folks that we need to be compliant, 100% compliant with. So. Okay, the next is authorize me to sign a contract for payroll services. So the thought behind this, we reached out to a bunch of different companies, and the bottom line is that even speaking with the auditors at the state, they want us to have more folks in Village Hall, whether it's for dual control purposes, whether it's for segregation of duties, whether it's for a whole host of things that they would like us to see. They'd like every community to see. And to be honest with you, I could use probably one more full-time person in Village Hall. But at the same time, this board and myself, we're cognizant of village taxes, okay? We're cognizant of spending. And I think the best way to free up and to specialize certain departments and specialize certain functions, especially the payroll, because the payroll can get cumbersome, whether it's through contracts, whether it's through the police contract, the DPW contract, anything to do with payroll can get a little hectic. And there's differentials, there's chart days, there's holidays, there's fragments of hours, there's the different costs, and it's very, very time consuming. And in addition to being time consuming, we really need someone to be in an office and doing it. And we've had some issues over the course of the last couple of years, not blaming any one person, but the person who does the payroll is also answering the phones. If someone's out sick, this was a huge issue during COVID. It's something that a lot of municipalities are going to. It helps for accounting, it helps for auditing, It helps for a whole host of things, and I think it allows us to free up some time from the individual we do have on the payroll, and allows that person to do more work, allows that person to take on a different function. That doesn't need the time, that doesn't need the accuracy of doing the payroll. We don't want to get, the unions, that we have a couple to file grievances that things aren't being done right. We don't want to have to worry about refiguring paychecks. And over the course of the last few years, we've had those issues. We've corrected them, but again, it's time consuming. And if I have somebody on vacation, and I have somebody out sick, I have one person in the office, it happens very quickly. The clerk can do it. The trustees have been in the office when there's just one person there. I don't want to spend the money to add another person or even a half-time person. This solves a lot of the problem. It'll help with accounting, it'll help with dealing with our audits, and it'll help with our end-of-year closing. I think it's very, very good to do, and eventually we'll get to a point where everyone is using either an app or they're using a computer to put their time in, lock their time in. Again, it's some technology, it's moving us in a better direction, it's better accountability, it's better employee cohesiveness. I can give you all kinds of fancy adjectives, whatever I can think of off the top of my head, but at the end of the day, it is definitely a good thing. I highly recommend it. The clerk and the treasurer did a lot in looking up and dealing with these other companies. And Paychex was the one that a lot of municipalities use. We did look at Ethan Allen. We did look at ADP. We had these folks come in. We asked them a bunch of questions. They put together some pricing for us. But you see that in the packet in front of you. That Paychex was the preferred vendor. I do believe they are in a slew of municipalities. Do we know how many, there are a bunch of municipalities in Orange County around?
Oh, I don't have that statistic, but I can get that back to you.
Yeah.
Very ready.
Not only that, but they help with payroll processing, HR assistance, time tracking, and onboarding. And this will also, if we implement this, we'll also get a deduction from we also get a deduction from our current software provider for all the other stuff we have, which is called Edmunds, which no one seems to like. It's like Oracle at the county. Everybody hates Oracle at the county. Everybody dislikes Edmunds, the processing interface. So we will also get a little reduction from that as well once we implement this, because they don't want to deal with it either. Payroll is a tough thing to deal with. You have some places that have full-time people just dedicated to payroll. So we don't have a full-time person dedicated to payroll. That person does 5 different things, and it's just not good. I know wrong or not. I'd like to get a motion approved. We can have a discussion if you like, but I'd like to get a motion in a second to move forward with this.
Motion to approve.
Wow. Trustee Olivia.
I'm happy to see the change. We definitely need it.
Motion by Trustee Olivia. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Ramos. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. The next thing on the list is to authorize the mayor and or deputy mayor Ramos to sign the preventative maintenance agreement with MJ and Son Mechanical Services for, tonight we're just going to do air conditioning. We have one more vendor that would like to put in for the heating services. So we're going to not bring up, we're not going to deal with the heating portion. Just-
Okay, so
just
you're
these.
breaking up this contract then?
Yeah, we're just going to go back to them and say that the heating portion is approved at this time, and probably by next meeting we'll decide on the,
AC first?
yeah, AC is going to be for, HVAC is going to be first, and then we'll deal with the heat at the next meeting. If they don't want to do the heating, which I think they'll be fine with just doing the heating, the AC, and if we get the other vendor who's local, so I'd like to give them a shot, so we can see what they provide. Then we'll deal with that at that time if they don't want it. They don't want to do the contract, then we'll just go somewhere else. But I think it's very good. They've done a lot of work in all the buildings, and what this covers is all the buildings that we have. It takes care of Highland Falls Senior Center. It It takes care of the Highland Falls Village Hall, Highland Falls Sewer Treatment Plant, Highland Falls Police Department, Highland Falls Wastewater Treatment Plant, and the Highland Falls DPW garage. And we had a couple different companies come in and bid, and they were the low bidder, and it's the yearly is $4,085.
Hold on, wait. I thought we were doing cool.
Sorry, $4,220.
And we can strike from
We're striking the heat right now.
heating, correct?
Correct. I saw cool.
And it's just for preventive.
It's maintenance, there's a whole breakdown on everything. So included, change all belts and air filters, it's okay, yes,
Preventive maintenance.
correct. We're just doing the cooling portion at $4,200. Yes.
Are we obligated to them if there's a significant repair, or can we,
If, the only thing that would be,
because like the writing on the bottom says, they would suggest,
yeah, so if they come up, I'm gonna abstain from the vote because they do work for, the savings and loan, so I'll let that out now. They were one of the bidders, there was 3 or 4 that came in and they were all walked around. I will tell you that they're exceptional, and they sometimes will offer suggestions where they have done everything to try to fix whatever they could that is existing. So, I mean, I recommend them, I'm going to abstain from the vote.
well, I'm thinking, but are we obligated to them for that repair, or can we put out the repair or whatever?
Oh, no, if we had if there was a major replacement for, say, a condenser or the AC completely went, we would have to go through that process, yeah. And we did reach out to local, we did reach out to, for the cooling for DNK, and they weren't interested, so I called them personally, just to make sure they were okay, but yeah, they were.
Yes, it's also cool things.
Correct, no, if it's a big repair, then obviously we'll go through that process. They don't just automatically get it.
Yeah, no.
That's why I asked.
Yeah.
It was just preventive.
Yeah, just prevent it.
No, I know, but I thought that's where we were sure.
So this, again, this is just for the cooling, so I need a motion and a second.
Motion?
Motion by trustee Olivia, second. Second by
Discussion, please.
trustee Gardullo. We do discussion. Go ahead.
This one's a no for me. My opinion is that DPW should be doing routine maintenance work on all of our buildings. It is literally written in their contracts as a requirement for the job, and we're in fact adding 2 full-time DPW workers tonight, so I think that this should be done in-house.
Okay, that's fine, it'll die here, we're gonna bring it back. I don't know what contract you may be referring to where I have to have DPW members that are certified in HVAC repairs and or maintenance. I will know in the job descriptions of a maintenance worker, I'm not sure you may even see the words HVAC, I could be completely wrong. But that's fine, and we can come back with more information for the board, and hopefully when the full board's here, we can go on it and move it. In the meantime, we have called several times local HVAC and these folks and repair jobs when we needed people, and it's not in the expertise of anybody in our DPW. And we can explore that option if you'd like to try to get someone who's certified in that, but you're not going to get them for $24 an hour. So that's fine, and I have no problem with the disagreement and the extra information. But at some point, you know, we do these little things because we try to keep costs down, because to hire employees and have an HVAC certified person, you're not hiring them for $24 an hour. Okay, I'm sure the going rate for an HVAC certification is probably in the 40s. So if I'm hiring a maintenance guy at $40 an hour instead of 24, I just spent way more than $4,000. But that's okay, we'll bring it forward again, so that's, doesn't move forward at this time. Oh, we actually will take the vote. Get a motion in a second.
Question. He said it's going to get brought up again.
Sure.
At that point in time, being that we struck the heating portion, will we add that to the next election? Don't we vote on that?
Probably.
Okay.
It's no different than when we have to talk about boiler repair.
not something that you need like an HVAC certification to do. I mean, checking the thermostat and setting, checking minor adjustments to the unit, simple fixes, tight and loosen parts, check wire connections, grease all of the bearings. These aren't things that need a certification, and the average worker should be able to have these skills. And if our DPW crew does not have these skills, then I would be concerned with why they're on our team.
Okay, and that's fair. Again, that is fair, but that's fair, but you can't have it both ways. And greasing air blower bearings is one thing. Being able to inspect, check operation of blower sections to include all bearings, blower wheels, and pulley alignments. Check all electrical controls, safeties, limit switches, and motor amps. Inspect operation of economizer section of unit. Inspect cooling section of unit to include compressor charges, chemical cleaning, and washer condenser evaporator coils as needed. Make minor adjustments to the unit, simple fixes, tighten and loosen parts, sure, no problem. So I'm sure we could make an argument either way, but we can continue talking about it. I'm completely fine with that. In the meantime, I'll take a roll call vote, since we do have a motion in a second. Unless the two folks who made a motion in a second want to withdraw.
No, let's vote.
Okay, so we'll do roll call.
Trustee Olivia?
No.
Trustee Rivas?
Yay.
Trustee Gardula?
Yes.
And Mayor DeSalvo?
Abstain. Next, from the chief, we have a recommendation to hire a, I'm sorry, we got this one's first. We have to hire first. Appointment of a part-time police officer, Justin Namoli, effective June 17th, the starting rate of $34.15 per the PBA contract, with a maximum probation of 52 weeks per the recommendation of police department. You have all the paperwork in front of you. You've passed all this stuff. I'd like to get a motion to approve. Motion second.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by trustee Ramus, is there a second? I'll second. You can do it?
Sure.
Okay. Seconded by trustee Olivia. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. We had a handicap spot, okay. I missed the handicap spot, okay. Next from the chief of police, we have a recommendation to create a handicap parking space on Church Street. It's 40 feet south of the southeast corner of the intersection of Church Street and Drew. This space would be a tremendous benefit to a disabled person that lives in the area. I've checked the street, I spoke to the individual. It's not necessarily the individual space, it is a handicap space on that road. We've done this before on many different streets, and then if the person moves or there's a change, we usually just delete it as we go forward. But again, it's not this person's specific spot, but it is a handicap spot on the road, and he does have a handicap qualifications. So I just need a motion to approve that.
Motion to approve the handicap.
Motion by trustee-
Recommendation of the chief.
Motion by trustee Ramus, seconded by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Next is the appointment of a full-time DPW maintenance worker, Matthew Troy, effective June 11, 2025, at the starting rate of $24 per hour for the DPW EA contract, with a maximum probation of 52 weeks per recommendation of the DPW supervisor, Dave Hurst. Mr. Troy worked for us for a while as a part-timer, took a short break and decided to come back, and it's a full-time position we're looking to fill, and I would highly recommend we move forward with it. Just need a motion, is that?
Motion?
Motion by trustee Olivia, seconded by
Second.
trustee Ramus. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next one is appointment of full-time DPW maintenance worker. I'm going to say Elmer, but no one's going to know. I mean, there's only a few people. Nobody on the board knew Elmer. They knew Pete. I said, we don't know Pete. We don't know. we have a Pete. So Elmer P.D. Baker, effective July 1, 2025, at the starting rate of $24 an hour for the DPWEA contract, with a maximum probation of 52 weeks per recommendation of the DPW supervisor, Dave Hurst. So, just a little background for the community. We currently only have 3 folks down at the DPW. I have a supervisor, and I have 2, I think I have 1 laborer and 1 maintenance, or 2 labor, 2 maintenance. So right now, everything is reactive, and I've been talking a lot with Trustee Olivia, and she's been talking to me about it. I've talked a lot with Jen, who actually liaisons that department. She's talked to Dave Hurst, who's currently the DPW supervisor overseeing the DPW. It's very stressful and it's very straining. We were trying to fill a gap with part-time positions, and right now, in talking with actually John Jones first, and then Dave Hurst second, and also talking with the folks down there, it's just really hard for them to work in multiple places at one time. And, you know, things are just getting behind, and we really need to add to that department. And at one point, I remember being on the village board, I think we had a total of 7 down there. And while I'm not recommending to do that at this time, you know, we are able to move some money around in the budget to fulfill this. And I think it's really, really going to help, because there's a lot of things that we need to get done, and we need a crew to do it. And whether people are out sick or people are getting burned out, I think this is going to be a huge, huge help. And Pete, Mr. Baker, excuse me, is part-time right now, so it really just would be moving into full-time. So I need a motion for that as well. Motion and second.
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Olivia, second by
Second.
Trustee Ramus. Discussion.
No, all I can say is, anytime there's snow on the ground, Pete's always here.
That is
I
true.
mean, I don't even think you need to ask him, I think he anticipates it. So, he's a great addition to be full-time personnel.
Anybody else?
I agree with that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. Okay, we have some events to approve. The first one, number 15 on the agenda, is the annual Juneteenth parade and flag raising sponsored by the Town of Highlands. It is Saturday, June 21, which is this Saturday, and it's from 11 to 4.
No.
11 to 12. 10:45 is parade lineup on Main Street at West Point Fair Gate, flag raising at Memorial Park, events to follow, effective field at Road Park, pending certificate of insurance. Actually, the parade portion and the Memorial Park portion, well, they're taking care of it. Road Park, okay. I'll take it back, they're taking care, the town's taking care of it. I just need a motion second to approve that.
I'll make the motion pending the,
I think they have it. It's on-
Oh, they have it.
Yeah, it's on the back. I think. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's the 10th, so I think we have it on file, but we'll get it. Okay. Yeah, so pending insurance, you were right. Motion by Trustee Reyes, is there a second? Seconded by Trustee Gargiulo. Again, pending insurance. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And Chief, you might want to check on that for the parade portion.
Sure.
Okay, next is approved 4th of July celebration event sponsored by the 4th of July Committee pending certificate of insurance. So there's a bunch here. I don't know if you guys want to do them all together or just do them one at a time. It's up to you. But I'll read them all. On Wednesday, July 2nd, I have 5 to 6:15 bed races on Main Street. 6:15 to 6:30, we have Little Miss and Little Mister Memorial Park. 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Danny and the Cruisers Concert Memorial Park. July 3rd, we have 3 to 8 p.m. karaoke and barbecue Royal Park. We have 5 p.m. stroller bike scooter decorating contest Royal Park. 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we have Whiskey Crossing concert at Memorial Park. Thursday, we have 8 a.m. 5K race. They checked in at Memorial Park. 3 p.m. parade on Main Street starting at West Point Fair Gate. 5 p.m. Family Day Royal Park. 9:15 p.m. fireworks at Royal. Might be a little later than 9:15, but 9:15 is kind of dark. So the paperwork is there in front of you, it's standard every year, and the insurance certificate will probably be on the desk of the clerk by this Friday. You okay with just doing them all? or you-
Yeah, you want a motion to approve all 4th of July events?
Okay. I get a second for that?
Second.
Hold on a second. Okay, motion by trustee Olivia, second by trustee Ramos. Any discussion?
Well, we had Danny and Cruisers there before, Whiskey Crossing, phenomenal as well. Two great events to start off. An event, the 4th of July, that is one of the jewels in the community, and I think it's just a great thing. Well, one last thing. Dean Yeager did a phenomenal job for the firecracker race.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I believe Dean, his wife, and I believe Brad and Mott,
they
they
bring so many
Yeah.
people into the community, it's fantastic.
do a nice
If
job.
anybody wants to actually see that, get out there early that morning. I think they're out there running at 5 o'clock.
I think MJ,
Warming up.
MJ, don't you ask me every year if I'm gonna
Yeah, you doing
meet you there at 8 o'clock? I'm gonna try to meet you there at 8 o'clock this year, okay?
I'll be there.
I know that wasn't in the package of this, it's next, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
had to put it out.
yeah. Okay, so I have a motion, I have a second. You got that, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very, very much. That was the 5K. And actually, we're gonna reapprove the Highland Falls 4th of July Firecracker 5K because they actually submit their own insurance. All right? So I need a motion for that one in addition.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, trustee Ramos, seconded by
I'll second.
trustee Olivia. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Perfect. Okay, that takes care of that. Next we have, from the Recreation Department, Aaron Falk. We have a summer concert series at Oak Park. Town operations. So it's a couple days. It's 7:16, 7:30, 8:13, and 8:27. It's from 6:30 to 8:30. No rain dates, right, Aaron?
Not right now, but every May as we get closer, maybe we schedule,
Okay.
depending on how weather looks.
All right.
We're open to it.
Okay. It'll be at the Road Park Pavilion area, the grass area, and then I would imagine the town will probably submit
The June was out, but I'll have it by
a.
the.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that, okay. So we're gonna approve that concert series pending insurance for those dates, the 16th, the 30th, the 13th, and the 27th, 6:30 to 8:30 at Road
That's-
Park.
Aaron says Thursdays, but that's Wednesdays.
Yes. Aaron's gonna
It's
say.
just- Yeah, sure.
Oh, I was gonna say, we're also trying to get like some food vendors out there for those days.
Okay,
Just trying to make it a really family
okay.
friendly environment, lawn chairs, whatever you need, bring it
And
out.
those are all Thursdays?
Wednesdays.
Oh,
Did I have
Wednesdays.
Thursdays? I'm sorry.
No, that's
It
okay.
should be Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, okay. So whatever date, July 16th, 30th, and August 13th, and August 27th are.
Yeah, Wednesdays.
And the concert itself, is it like local bands?
Yeah, local bands, we have Danny and the Cruisers playing, we have, I forget the names off the top of my head, they're on a flyer, but a band out of Fort Montgomery, another one at, they used to go to the Park Restaurant a lot of times back in the day, Robert Yansky, and somebody else, it's like 4 different bands. But they're all pretty local, they're,
When we, me and you, grew up, back in the day, there was actually like garage bands.
Yeah.
Local kids. Are they not there anymore?
no, but we were talking about that, about trying to find maybe some high school type bands, even just to kind of, cover for some of these bands, if you want to call it that, maybe like a half hour prior or something like that, or even next year as we get bigger, make more dates and give them more opportunities to come out. But I mean, if we find them this year too, we'll submit another request and we'll always do expand. Right now, we only have 4 dates in the summer, but if more come up, our budget to pay the bands wasn't as much as I was hoping this year. Budget restraints everywhere, but we have enough to get at least 4 paid shows. And if we can get any free shows, that would be it.
Right, so, with the way society has evolved, maybe DJs, a local kids that do DJing.
Sure,
Maybe-
yeah.
Maybe a thought that you could throw out there.
Yeah, Definitely
To
open
some of the
to
local
things.
kids.
definitely open some different things.
All right.
This is kind of the start, so we'll see where it goes, and like I said, trying to get even some local restaurants, Park Restaurant, for example, to come out and showcase some of their food, or Westies, people like that, to come out and showcase their menus. Just an opportunity for the community to come together and have fun in a family-friendly environment.
Sounds great, thank you.
So,
I'll make a motion.
motion by trustee Reyes. I'll second it. All in favor?
All right.
Opposed? Motion carried.
People are very excited for this. They really are.
We did it a few years ago, pre-COVID, we did the Memorial Park, but we just thought Grove Park was a better environment for the playground. We're gonna try to keep the pool open late that night, just to try to, you know, even if you're not there for the concert, but you're there to swim and see the concert, you know, let me stroll over to see what's going on. So just as many different things as we can going on, just to try to draw people up there for the summer.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Next item to approve is the Highland Falls Fire Department's second annual Christmas in July Street Festival. Well, I tell you, they say that there's not a lot going on around here. I don't, you know.
You have to get it off all one day.
Yeah, well, okay, approve Highland Falls Fire Department's second annual Christmas in July Street Festival, sponsored by Highland Falls Fire Department Events Committee. On Saturday, July 26, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Main Street from Village Hall to Town Hall, pending certificate of liability insurance. I think that's the way they did it. I just need a motion in a second to approve that, pending insurance.
Motion?
Motion by trustee Olivia, seconded by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor?
I'll vote yes, only cent.
We don't know, maybe we don't want to. Okay, motion
That's
passes. We're gonna, next item is, we're gonna cancel the July 21 meeting. We'll just have the one on July 7th. Yeah, motion by trustee Olivia, seconded by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor?
All right.
Motion passed. Number 21 on the agenda is the cancel August 18th meeting. We'll have the first Monday of the month, that month. I need a motion for that.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Olivia, seconded by
Second.
trustee Reyes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Just so the public knows, if you don't hear anything, it's a yes. It's not my rule, that's the rule.
That's true.
We're going to reschedule number 22 is reschedule Monday, September 1, 2025 Village Board meeting to Tuesday, September 2, 2025, in observance of Labor Day.
Motion to change to September 1st meeting.
All right, motion from trustee Ramos, is there a second?
Second?
Second, I think Jen may be now. By trustee Gargiulo. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Motion carried. We're going to set a resolution for a public hearing. It's one extra item on the agenda, a resolution for a public hearing on July 7th, 2025, for the removal of fluoride in our water system. So I'm going to say that one more time so the news gets it. So it's a resolution for a public hearing for the removal of fluoride. It's July 7th, 2025, and it'll start immediately after the CDBG public hearing. And other communities in Orange County have done this. Walden is most notably in my mind. They went through this process. According to the state and the health department of the county, if your water department and or water service had gotten a grant, a lot of different communities have gotten a grant over the years to put fluoride in the water system. If you had gotten a grant, it's next to impossible to remove it. There's a supervisor or mayor, I'm not sure which, I think he's a mayor Westchester County that actually unilaterally, for public safety reasons, discontinued the use. While that might be in my purview as mayor, I don't think I want to take that route. I think it's important that people understand the process of fluoride being added to the water and the pros and cons of it. And that'll be part of the process. I most likely think that the public hearing will be remained open. We will present some facts and information facts to the public, both sides. That's part of what we have to do. We've spoken to the Board of Health for the county, and basically it's up to us as a board after we get feedback from the community. And, you know, it isn't just a money thing. We did have an open house at the water plant, and I know there's some people in this room that actually went to that. And I recommend that when we probably will try to schedule another open house very soon, but fluoride in itself, and I'm no scientist, but I've spoken to some members on the board who have a great deal of knowledge, and I'm going to have Trustee Olivia speak on a couple items, because she did come up with a lot of different information on this, and we've spoken about it, and it was something that I think she was surprised that she heard me say it. You know, I said it. She smiled, so I was right. Fluoride, while it may be beneficial that some people say, I think it's an individual choice. And to put fluoride in the water system over long-term effects, I think may have certain pros and cons to your body. As we get into this and we present you with the information, I think it's important for the board to have an open mind about it. If you go to any bodega or Walgreens or food store or gas station, everything from chewing gum to certain waters has fluoride in it. There's no need for us to bombard folks with fluoride. At one time, in 1906, or whenever the water plant was created, and you didn't have that available for folks, I think it was used, in my personal opinion, for poorer communities. And I don't know that that is the right way to do it. You are forcing a chemical into people that they might not want, or might not even know much about. So we're going to start this process. There's a lot of information that we're going to have to get out. And we're taking the approach of sharing as much and as all as we can, and that's part of our process. But at the end of the day, the County Board of Health has made it pretty clear that it's up to the board to do it. And it's not, and the state has said that to them, and they are saying that to us. It's a process to go through. There are several alternatives, any type of toothpaste, any type of chewing gum, any type of water. They have water with fluoride in it, they have chewing gum with fluoride in it. It's the amount of products are amazing. So as we open this up, you'll get more information. We'll have a provider. It'll be on the website, not the new website because it won't be there yet, but it'll be on the old website. We'll try to color it in with a red crayon to make sure you can see it. But we'll ask Trustee Olivia to, you don't have to get into everything you have, but because we'll do that at the public hearing, and then we'll have information on the website and at Village Hall available. But she did do a lot of homework on this, and it's something that I think we both agree on pretty much. So if you want to add anything to that, after I ask for a motion in a second.
I'll make a motion.
Jumping out of the chair. Motion made by Trustee Olivia, seconded by Trustee Gargiulo. I'm just going to say discussion so you can add something to this. I think
Well, just to give a little tidbit for tonight, the main situation with the fluoride that's being added to our water is that the compound is an industrial grade. It's industrial grade and it's not pharmaceutical grade. It's not food grade, what's being added to the water. So where the chemical is being derived from is not being processed the way that it would be for consumption and for proper usage.
Yeah,
If
not,
that's space.
no, I'll add, like, remember when we were all little and we went to the dentist for the first time? And you got the fluoride treatment, and you had to rinse with it, but you spit it out. You didn't swallow it. In fact, they told you not to swallow it. So while we are following the Board of Health guidelines for what we put in our water to make it drinkable, and we're following the fluoride amount too, it's still something you ingest. So as we unfold this whole thing, and there's several layers like an onion, we'll present it to the community. We hope to get some feedback, and we're going to probably invite one or two of our local dentists in town, and I'm sure they're going to give a lot of information on what the benefits are on keeping it, and it's something we're going to consider. So with that, I'll make a motion to set the public hearing. We got the motion to set the public hearing for July 7th, 2025. I got a motion by trustee Olivia, a second by trustee Gargiulo. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Trustee Libby, is that, you're applying, is it local or is that local? You're applying housing process or is it our specific water system?
It's most all of the compounds that are used for municipalities when it's being added to the water. It's just not the same compound as what is used in other areas. So it's actually derived from it's a phosphate fertilizer manufacturing waste product, which is what is fluoride that's put into our water. So it's not a good thing. I'm happy to get rid of it. And it's actually, if it was a pharmaceutical drug, then it would need FDA approval. So it's being pushed in a way that it's for your health, and it's just not exactly what it's being presented as.
And off the record, I would think the dentist would want us to take it. That was just a joke. Okay, so we got that approved, you got that?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that takes care of all the agenda stuff. So I will open it up to public comment.
I have some questions.
Sure.
Number 7,
Yes.
has there been an uptake in workman's comp cases that has caused that to take money out of the general fund?
No, actually, we did very well on our workman's comp. On our workman's comp for the new budget year. This was just a little cleanup for 24, 25. So it was just, we were $200 short on what we budgeted.
I have another question.
Sure.
I recently got a water bill that was, I thought, exorbitant, and I tried to talk to the government that was in the water department, the bill or whatever.
Okay. One of the folks in Village Hall?
Yes,
Okay.
and she said that I have been being charged the minimal amount,
Minimum.
and that my meter has been broken. Not really sure how long it's been broken, but apparently there is somebody who can ride by and get the reading, the reading without coming into your house, is that right?
So it's not necessarily broken. What it is that every meter that we replace probably, I think we're at 13 years, maybe 14 years from now, the meter itself, meaning the mechanical portion that's reading the gallons that you're using, is working. It's that the housing and the battery and the signal that it sent out that we could read it from a laptop is no longer functioning. So a couple of meetings ago, I think it was the new board. Yeah, it was the new board. We approved to purchase meters to start a new meter program. So we actually, I think, we may be even on the list of one of the people that we're going to replace. But we're going to start 100 at a time because it costs roughly around $50,000 a year for our meters to get it installed. So we're going to do the best we can. We did put in for a grant to get all of them done at one shot, but regardless, I have to do it. We have to do it. So, but yes, if you want, technically today was the last day of pay. However, if you want to call Village Hall tomorrow, we'll try to send somebody from the water department to come and check the meter. Just call if you can in the morning, 8:30. Okay?
You need to do that for me.
Sure.
Now, I had mentioned this once before,
You got that?
maybe even twice before. We've had unusually rainy spring this year. And I had mentioned before about the Mountain Avenue have still been checking it, and I have yet to see it go up to normal levels. Do you have any idea why?
Iowa Brook?
Yes.
Well, I will tell you that a couple of, we did have a couple of little storms in the past, like, I said the last, 3 or 4 weeks. We had some good rain, and the brook did go up.
Substantially.
Yeah, substantially. Thankfully,
Very
it went down as fast as it went up. So luckily, lately, the rainstorms we've been getting, if it's been a tremendous downpour, it's quick and it's not lasting long. Or if we get rain, we can handle multiple inches of rain over a long period of time. It's when we get 4 inches in 2 hours, 9 inches in 4 hours. It's those storms where we have big problems. So luckily, the last few storms we've had, while we may have gotten an inch or 2 of rain, it's coming over time. I mean, I've lived here for 45 years, and a lot of the folks in this room have lived here longer. I mean, the brook handles a good amount of water. So when we have regular rain, I'm going to call it regular rain, the brook is okay. That last storm we had, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, I literally shot up in bed because I heard it. And I said, please, not 2 months in, that I need to get on the phone with some emergency services. So luckily it rained like hard for like, it was the same sounding rain as like the storm we had right after we got the 9 inches, but it only lasted like 28 minutes, and then it stopped and it started lighting up, and I said, thank you. So it does fluctuate, and we have put in for some grants to try to do some stuff in the brook, to try to, get some boulders out, stuff like that. We can't just go in there. But so far, so good. So it does fluctuate, but I'm okay that it's a little low right now. Our reservoir is full. We have more water than we know what to do with right now, so I'm okay with that. But I know what you're saying. We're constantly looking at drainage and water all the time.
Yeah, it's nowhere close to being what it used to be.
And I'm going to say this right now. I'm okay with it being low, just because it seems like every time we turn around, it's raining every weekend. So, but I appreciate you bringing it up.
Almost 15 weekends in a row.
Never stop raining. We're the new Seattle.
That really should be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Back in the day, as was put, we used to be able to go there and swim, and it's basically minimal water.
And I think when
It's concerned to me, where is all that water going?
I think when we had the flood, it just cut in new.
We can figure it, yeah.
It cut in new things, so things are lower now. Things are just it moves different. I mean, we have water that comes on streets now that we've never had an issue with. I mean, I got a big issue on Center Street that I got to deal with that we never had there. Never that bad. And it's coming from the school. It's coming off private property, and it's coming in the municipal road coming in. That was an area that, we could get rain, but everything would be able to deal with it. Now I got an issue with it. So when that flood happened, it just created all kinds of different new channels and new different things that water now travels through. We're going to deal with drainage for a while, even though we're at the top of a mountain, but we eventually do drain, but still we got to deal with it.
And the upper bog Meadow valve has been closed.
Okay.
I know,
That
I'm
makes sense.
going to say since June 1st.
Yeah.
So we've been utilizing a lot of water that comes out of Western Hollow that's running very well, along with the bypass that comes out of Jim's Pond.
Right.
Because Jim's Pond used to be strictly going to low and then diverted to upper bog as well. But so it kind of splits it a little bit now. So some of Jim's Pond, when it gets down to the lower bog, then that comes right through. But we don't have to open up the valve at the top. So that keeps us well stocked.
And that's only been since June 1st, you said?
I know June 1st, when I was up there, it was closed, and it had been closed a few days after that, and I knew it is still closed. Great for canoeing up there, so.
Yeah, Ron Malcolm, Perry Avenue. see that the hydrant flushing has been moved up to this week. I thought it was on the week of the 26th, but it's okay. They were just flushed not too long ago. And I stopped by the guy who's flushing Church Street. And I said, well, when are you going to do the hydrant on Parent? And he said, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning came in, I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, and you look at the hydrant, when they flush the hydrant, there's usually a stain in the street. There's no stain in the street, so this time, I'd like to, can someone look into that the Harry Avenue hydrant is flushed? Sure. But
I will just add that it's the whole week we're doing it.
yeah, right.
So
Okay.
they may have not just gotten to it yet, and it's on the schedule, but I'll check with them, sure.
Well, it was the previous time, right, I didn't see any staining on it.
So the previous time they did it?
I know they didn't.
Okay, they don't do every single hydrant. They do have there is a little bit of methodology to it, but I will check about the one near your house. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, I'm in front of number 6.
Sure.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Okay, and with that, I just want to make an announcement that, hydrant flushing is going this week. Once they get through your area and you do have discoloration, just run your cold water, don't run it through the hot water. And it should clear up. We're doing this again, we spoke about it the last meeting or the meeting before that. We have an abundance of water right now. We didn't do it as much as we wanted to last season because we were in a drought. So this year, while we are taking advantage of the abundance of water, and while we need to clear the pipes out as best we can to get rid of some of the sediment, it will hopefully help with water, and hopefully help with water quality and service. So again, if you have any issues, call Village Hall, call the water department. We'll be happy to address it when they come up. Yes, sir.
I didn't want to talk about this, but I'm new in this village, and
Could you just state your name?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, my name is Fausto Garcia, and I'm Sharon neighbor. I live right in front of Sharon's house, and I just moved into the village a year ago. I'm a school bus driver over here in the village. There's something that is going on over here at this little village that, to me, is like, for you to believe it, probably you got to see it happening. I have a few neighbors in the Pebble Lake Road, and in the neighborhood next to my neighborhood, that they have dogs, and they come to my neighborhood walking their dogs. Sometimes they let the dog do their thing right on my grass, and I don't think that's nice from them doing that right in front of my house, on my property. And it's something that's an ongoing thing, you know what I mean? I want that to stop. Because if one day I see one of these people letting their dog do their number one, number two on my grass, I don't know what's going to happen, because sometimes I have signs on the grass saying like, I don't want those to happen. Everybody have a nice, beautiful home, green area on their house, on their property. I don't think it's nice from people coming from other houses to my property. And Sharon is my witness. She could see that all the time happening. I know that property where I am now, it was empty for a little bit. So I do get a lot of animals come to my property, not anymore as before. I'm talking about like wild animals. But people with dogs, those are the problem that I have. Not wild animals coming to my property, but people with dogs, walking their dogs. It's very, to me, it's already a little uncomfortable.
Sure.
And my opinion is, and my suggestion is that these people that have dogs, they could let their dog do their thing on their property, and then go for a walk. I like that. I like when I see my neighbors walking around the neighborhood, so like that, if they see anything suspicious, whatever, to me, that's something, it's a plus, but not bring their animal to my property.
So I would recommend that if you see it happening, don't do anything. I would recommend don't interact with that person, only because you may turn into an argument, I don't want to see that happen. But if you see it happening, get with the chief, or stop in, call them at the time it's happening, that's a ticket. That's a ticket.
Yeah, I mean.
Hold on, that's a ticket right there if you see him do it, or you can fill out a complaint. And then police will deal with it.
I would recommend calling as soon as possible so we can give it the attention that it deserves in real time.
Get the number,
I mean,
I'm serious.
you know, sometime home, but sometime not.
I understand,
All right, well,
I understand, but you, at some point, you know who they are, I mean, you know.
Of
you know,
course, I mean,
it's
like I said,
It's
Sharon,
the same
see them all
folks,
the time.
it's the same folks, so,
Yeah.
please, I agree with you, I agree with
I
you.
mean, I love this neighborhood. I came from
Yeah.
the city over here. I feel so good over here that it's a new life for me. So I just want to be living here in peace. You know, it's me, my wife, and my two daughters that I have. They go here to O'Neill. Hopefully they're going to graduate next year.
Sure.
And, I just want to live in peace and do my living just like everybody else.
Make sure you get the police department number, which is 845-446-4911. But make sure you get it before you leave. If you see it happen, please call, and if not, if you know who it is, or Sharon may know, sign a complaint.
You know, so
I agree, they shouldn't bring, believe me, I'm all about that.
to me, that's very disrespectful, you know what I
It
mean?
is.
And like I said, the whole year going through this, you know what I mean? It's like, I want to bring this up before when I sometimes come to the meeting, sometimes
Sure.
I forget. But this time I said, you know what, I got to say something because
Absolutely.
just to let you know, the other day I saw somebody from like that little neighborhood that is by the church. I think that guy lived there. He got a big black dog. And I told him, listen, please, not on my grass. He go like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what was very disrespectful. The good thing was that he kept walking. You know what I mean? And I just went to my house. If he would have probably come to me and said like, whatever, then I don't know what would happen because I'm going up to nobody, property, whatever, and do this kind of things, you know what I mean? So.
I appreciate that, believe me, I understand that, but I'm begging you, don't take it in your
No,
own
I
hands.
know, I understand.
Please call, and we will deal, trust me, they will deal with this.
You know, I put camera on my property, I put signs on my property, I'm excavating my property. I don't think I need to do that.
Right. But my point is that there may be other neighbors that have the same problem as you.
I would say all of them.
Right, so.
Like the hotel, they think that's the area for their dogs, you know what I mean? I don't think that's,
Okay.
you know, I get out of, how do you call it, flags, flags coming around, you know what I mean? And all that kind of smell, all that stuff. I don't think my neighborhood is very beautiful, I love it, very quiet. So I want to keep it the way it is. I found it like that, and I want to keep it the way I found it.
Absolutely. Thank you, I appreciate you saying it.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for listening to me.
No problem. Anybody else? Okay, I'll go to liaison reports. We're doing actually pretty good. Surprised. Trustee Olivia.
I will do the buildings department report for the month of May. We had 10 permit applications were received, 11 permits were issued, no operating permits, 8 certificates of compliance, 24 building permit inspections, 16 fire safety inspections, 18 violation notices were issued, 3 were closed out, 5 municipal searches were completed, and 1 zoning variance was received, along with 8 FOIL requests. I was happy to see a jump in the violation notices. We went from the month of April there being 3 to the month of May being 18, which I still wanted to see more than that because it doesn't take much to look around and actually see more than that. Unfortunately, the part-time code enforcement officer that was hired for the building department did not work out. They do have a replacement lined up to begin mid-August, so hopefully we'll get somebody good to fit, a good fit for the position, because it is a very important position.
What is the position?
The code enforcement officer. There was a part-time person hired and it didn't last very long, so. Not until mid-August, the secondary applicant in the first place is going to be taken care of with the building department. The building department is just Phil Hannawalt at the moment, along with Gabrielle is down there.
Okay, I thought he was still on.
If he's out currently, that's not to my knowledge.
I think they hired somebody that they just don't start till August.
Correct. So it'll be, again, a replacement part-time code enforcement officer, which, again, if the police department doesn't take care of things such as like the dog issue that you were describing in your neighborhood, that would also come to the department, for the building department for code enforcement, because that's something that they could also issue violations for. And I have a lot of things that brought me to start attending meetings, and they were small things just like that. The everyday actions of our local residents make a difference in the community. So I would make the statement, yes, that our departments need to be stepping up, and we're hopefully adding some robustness to some of them in hiring some new employees. But it's also a matter of the public. So just a statement to the general resident that I hope understanding really can be given that each person's contributions are what make a community. And we have to look within ourselves to be a part of the solution that we want to see. That's all.
Thank you. Trustee Megas.
All right, so I also have a May report for the sewer treatment plant. Waiting on the any new updates, but as far as what transpired through May, we had 4.87 inches of rain. Might not sound like a lot, but it is. So our daily flow down there that we are treating is 923,000 gallons of effluent. Through our water plant, we were pushing in May only 500,000 gallons, maybe 550. So that is a big difference. And what happens is when we have all this rain, everybody, no, not everybody, there are some homes that still take their sump pumps and put it into the sewer inside their house. That adds to groundwater that we have to treat. We shouldn't have to treat that water. Take your sump pump, put it outside, let it sheet flow onto your property or down into the sewer drain next to your house. That's the proper thing to do. So if we could do that, it'd be greatly appreciated. TAM is still down there hauling sludge, although the pumps are just about complete. They're waiting just on a couple more things on the install. We did have one of the RBC units down on the west train. The gentlemen are working on that. Bearings in some of the pumps. They're starting to get a little squeaky even though we continue to grease them. Our web lane generator is down. We need to discuss that as a board and figure out what we're going to do on that. A lot of the stuff that Aventus was doing down there is just about complete. And they're doing their weekly collection of their samples and sending it out to the DEC. No violations at this point in time. Also, what we do have is something from the water treatment plant. So, and Pete was going to do this, unfortunately he's not here. So the daily raw water flow average at the facility on Saturday, the 31st through the 6th of this month was about 600,000 gallons. Storage tank level is about 28 feet. They had to shut the plant down because when they get an increased raw water flow, it gets very turbid. And that's just something that they normally do, and then they put it right back up online. Again, like I said earlier, Uncle Bob, the valve was closed, and they so noted it here as well. They continue to work on some of the lower filter flows, and they're doing, again, their annual radium, uranium, and alpha dose sample checks. Everything seems to be good, and they took that out of one of the boxes down on Cedar. There's a couple other things about that Pete continued to do this at that point in time. The planning board will be meeting maybe this Thursday. They're waiting on a couple more things to be submitted. So I'll have a report on the planning board since that was asked to me at our next meeting. Also, the zoning board, they do have a meeting this week. They've got a variance application for 11 Main Street in Island Falls and another one at 34 Rose Drive. Those will be public hearings. If anybody would like to come to the meeting, it will be the 18th at Town Hall at 7 p.m. And again, it's a public hearing, so anybody who has a concern or wants to know what's going on at those two locations, please stop on in. Jack is a great guy when he's running those meetings.
Can I ask what 11 Main Street, what property that is?
Yes, 11 Main Street and 34 Rose Drive.
Who's 11 Main Street, do you know?
Jack. Yeah, Jack doesn't have it down here, the exact person who owns that property, I'm not sure. We're getting a lot of new residents in there. So, this past Saturday, we had the village annual Fish on Fish and Dirt. Fantastic turnout. The rain tried to dampen the spirits in the ground. And when it got to ground, it didn't get the spirits of the kids. We had over 44 children sign up, and then there was a lot of other children that came with them that were just there to help. They don't like to fish, but I think they, at the end of the day, they wanted to fish. They caught over 150 fish that day that they registered, which was great. Put them all back in the lake. Maybe one or two they went and took home to their pond. You know, you can't stop the little kids from taking a fish from the pond. But it was a great event. Everybody on this board was up there and helped. The volunteers were phenomenal. We had volunteers from all over the place. We had volunteers come down from Greenville, for goodness sakes, that work with the Orange County Federation of Sportsmen. Jack and his wife, they're young. They're probably in their late 80s. And they were down here, and they come down every year. Jack and Ray McCoskey. And Jack's out there stocking fish throughout Orange County with county funds and with the state. And he put in this year over 34,000 trout throughout the state that are open to the general public wherever they put them. So Jack is unbelievable, unbelievable. Mrs. Olivia's son, Dan, he was there, wrangled him into being a fish ranger. I think, yeah, and I think he likes it. I think he's going to come back next year. But yeah, when you start doing something like that with the little kids, it's just so great. We had the Thruway Market come down. They sent 2 people, and they're just a big part of this event that we've been putting on since 2019, 18, somewhere around there. But yeah, so they sent 2 people down. They're out there. They're teaching the kids how to cast a line, how not to hook anybody. Mary Jean. Putting on bobbers. Again, they're fish rangers out there. All good times. We had breakfast donations by the Orange County Federation. So there was egg sandwiches for everybody, whoever wanted them. VRI donated coffee and donuts. And a local resident, Gary. We all know Gary. He used to be on this board. He has been donating lunch for many years now. So we had 200 hot dogs, cookies, chips, et cetera, for all the kids at the end of the festivities, which was fantastic. And we did have a couple leftover hot dogs that we sent over to the kids that were just getting ready to play a little baseball. And they were so happy to get a couple boxes of chips, hot dogs, et cetera, water, because it got hot that day, so we brought over ice buckets of water for them, and they were very appreciative of that. I will have more on all of the people that did the donations, all the people that helped out. Like I said, everybody on this board was there, and Mr. Howard was there. He's so great with the kids at the registration table. Kathy Beach, who Miss Olivia seen in action.
She's wonderful.
Yes, she's phenomenal. She came up with her own little spreadsheet, how to expedite the process at the end of the day with all the totals for the kids, which was great. And what was even better was we had so many donations this year. Every year we get at least six bicycles, and the kid doesn't even need to catch a fish to take a bike home. We just put their names in a hat, draw it out, and the smiles are phenomenal. But we had so many donations of fishing poles this year that every kid that was there took a brand new fishing pole, which was pretty cool. And the top ones, and then I'll turn the rest of it over. In the junior ones, 4 through 7 was Eric Zabel, Dylan Rosado, and Jamari Knight. The 8 to 11 was Sam Kokala. I butchered it over there too, didn't I? Macau, Sanchez Aponte, and Ali Lutz. And this guy, he's going to be on Bassmasters Monday. Tyler Trunkel won again. He's a phenomenal fisherman. I told him he has to be a fish ranger. I don't think he liked that, but we'll get him in there. He loves to fish. Simon Sarawaka and Elijah Yosef. Great time, and I just thank the board and look forward to doing it again next year, and maybe even possibly doing one in the fall. So, thank you.
Good. Trustee Gregory?
Just as a sidebar, I was at a meeting this, right before I came here, that the school, per Governor Hochul, is doing a distraction-free school environment starting September 2025, where cell phones will not be allowed bell to bell. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Whether you have school-age children or not, which is an interesting fact. I came here very late to the game, not very late to the game, but midway to the game, and I'm excited to be here. And I have to say, on this side of the table, it's humbling. It's humbling to be a small piece of all the people that work to make 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, make the village and the town really function. And I think it's impressive. I think it's impressive how the community is really very focused on that, and how they respect our DPW and all of our first responders and our officers and the like. For a DPW report, beyond the everyday, last month found storms taking 2 trees, one on Fostoria and one on Muller. That our DPW guys made fast work of. They were busy hanging up military banners on flags for West Point graduation, and they're in the process of placing speed bumps and signs in areas where residential speed complaints are the highest. As right now, they've been placed at the intersection of Plains Avenue and First Street, Wyandotte Avenue, Kings Road, Cragston, and just today on Hickory, where there is an actual daycare there, a functioning daycare there. Speaking of banners, the board would like to thank neighbors for generously supplying the senior banners, the graduation banners. That was really wonderful of them to do that. Congratulations again to the West Point graduates. For next year's graduation, we did talk about this at the chamber. We really look forward to seeing the chamber ensuring that every business that would allow it has graduation banners to display. And further, the village has a banner on Main Street to the effect that says Town of Highlands Chambers welcome you. A lot of down Habs or Upper County, you see that. It just makes it more welcoming, one of those 3 banners. Now, we did talk about the chamber, and it was asked, and he said that it was cited that they really had no money to accomplish that this year. And as a sidebar to that, I think it speaks to, our local fundraising events, and the commingling with the organizations to achieve that. We are a very small and very giving community, and we certainly provide protective oversight to clearly identify and account for all fundraising efforts. And it's super important for continued support, because people really want accountability of where money's going to. And that's just something throughout the community that's been talked about. This past weekend, the fishing derby was wonderful. It was really a testament to Trustee Ramos' passion. Next weekend, we are really looking forward to Family Fun Day, which will be at Fickensfield, right? I think it was at Fickensfield. And I'm actually looking for a few students who would need volunteer hours to help paint the shed. I was addicted to graffiti. I think it'd be nice if we can get some students to get that done and accomplished. Also next weekend is Hope Rocks. And Hope Rocks will be an important and impactful event for years to come as we continue to reach the stigma of mental health and addiction. I think it's a super important event. It's something that they do over New Paltz on a much larger level. And I think it's going to be really great. I would be remiss in not mentioning the opening of the new park restaurant, where the owners are really, truly dedicated to catering to the needs and desires of our community. They're really working very hard to talk to community members, see what they want. People have to understand it's not the old park restaurant, it is new. They are trying to accommodate some of the old, the old things that people want. But they're in the process of putting up the karaoke stage, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I think they're really going to do really well down there. And I think they're making a good little business now. I think their hours are normal now, I think 11 to 11, except on Tuesdays, I do believe that. But they do have a Facebook page now too, or something else, they do have that up. Further to that, we're looking forward to the opening of Westies and the new location of Annie's Attic, which will be at Shades. And that's going to be pretty cool to open up her space. Like I had said, I'm looking forward to the Yearly Developers Conference this Friday, and I think there's going to be some wonderful insights and things to report on that. I think that's going to be great. Last thing, beginning tomorrow, tomorrow's Tuesday, right? Club Beyond will be revisiting Buddy Bowling at West Point, Tuesdays 4 to 5 for families with special needs and people with all abilities. This is always a wonderfully inclusive event. The kids love it. Club Beyond is a group out of West Point that just does volunteer work throughout the community. So they're really nice to come out and help us. And further to that, beginning Thursday, July 17th, Community Connections, Aaron Falk, and Club Beyond on hand to volunteer again will be premiering a summer season of all-inclusive kickball for families and individuals of all abilities at Roe Park Thursdays 4 to 5. Aaron had left, but Aaron will be putting out an in-use request for that, as well as an online sign-up link. If anyone would like to participate, volunteer, sponsor, provide water snacks, please let either one of us know. That's going to be great too, just because we talk about, Community Connections is focused on kids that are out-districted from our school district for academics and don't have any programming here in the community, so that's something that we're really trying to focus on. Lastly, the vision of this new board is to be as transparent as possible, to provide real-time information as much as possible. And as we work in progress, and as we are a work in progress, we welcome the community's input and ask you to bear with us through the glitches. And the website is going to really be helpful with that. And once again, always thank you to our village and town employees and our first responders for their dedication to service.
I'm texting Dale about Perry Avenue. I didn't want to forget it. Thank you, Trustee Bertullo. Okay, I'll be pretty quick. First is the police report. Total of calls were 864. We had 1 felony arrest, 2 misdemeanor, 1 violation. Summonses issued, 52 parking tickets, 28 traffic, total of 80. Revenues collected, village tickets $1,230, report fee 16 for total revenues of $1,246. Police vehicles mileage was 3,756. A couple things. Farmers market started last weekend, or this past weekend. So that's up and running now, going through until October, correct? November. So please go down there on Sundays. I know usually it starts off a little slow, but they add as they go, and it's a great farmers market. So please patronize that. I do believe they were taking some measurements and some surveying for the gas lines in Ondura Park. I think that's moving forward. a mention of the Hope Rocks and Family Fun Day. That's this weekend, Saturday. So please check that out. Shout out to our police department. We are down 3 positions right now. And like a lot of communities, everyone's feeling the squeeze. From the sheriff's office to New Windsor to Cornwall to Town of Newburgh to a lot of small municipalities. It's tough being law enforcement in this state. It's not anything we're doing. It's just that it's really tough being in law enforcement in the state of New York. So we continue to try to, go off the list. And in fact, I was speaking to somebody the other day, and they had said when they went and took the police test, there was like 3,000 people that took the test. Now you're lucky if you get 300. So it's a situational thing that I've been to the Association of Town and Villages meetings. It comes up quietly right now, but eventually at some point, it's going to come to a head. Just because smaller municipalities, either you get priced out of the game, or you're going to have to, spend so much money to try to attract officers to stay in this state, to work here, and it's tough. While we're down, we have a few folks that we're trying to interview and go through that process, but it is, painstaking, because at the same time that we need to hire folks, we want to hire the right talent for the community. So I do want to commend the police department for what they have been doing, and the chief, I know, I make him scratch his head 3 times a week, so I appreciate that. Thank you. The fire department, they had an award ceremony the other night, Tuesday night. We had a couple good years of enrollment and enrollment drives, but whether it's the ambulance or it's the Fort Montgomery Fire Department who just had their installation dinner, or the Highland Falls Fire Department, volunteers are vital in the community, and we wouldn't be able to run these organizations without the volunteers, so please, if you can. As Trustee Olivia and Trustee Gargiulo said, DPW, in all actuality, in the list I give them leading up to graduation and after, and I don't know how they do when they do it, so I appreciate them, and more help's on the way, so thank you for that. Roe Park. Once it stops raining for more than 5 days, hopefully the park will continue to be worked on. I spoke to neighbors the other day, and they're not necessarily behind schedule. They have a September deadline, but they would prefer if it didn't rain 3 times a week minimum. So we should be able to meet that deadline. So we're hoping that we get some good weather. In addition to that, at the playground, I spoke to the DPW, and we're looking into a couple holes that we have in that. It's like a rubberized matting that when kids fall or running around and they fall on it, they don't get beat up. We used to have peat gravel when I was growing up, but apparently that doesn't work anymore. So there's a couple spots where I'll probably come to the board, and we have some money in parks for budget, and we probably want to do some. I don't think we'll do a full replacement, because that one will make you fall over. But we did do a patch one time that held up for quite some time, so there's a couple new areas now that we have to create the patch for. The fence company that we hired, actually 24-25 fiscal year, and again, it was scheduling, it was weather. They have commenced to do the perimeter fence around the park. That fence has been repaired, fixed. The poles have been rebent straight to the point where they snap. It's long overdue. I think it's going to dress up the area quite well. So that's a big plus. Speed bumps, as was brought up, we put out several speed bumps. I'm sorry if some people don't like them, but some of these streets, folks just drive too fast on. If you feel you need one, let me know. Call Village Hall. I'll talk with the police department, see if there's complaints in regards to your road, and we take it on a first-come, first-served basis. The speed bumps we did get, we try to get as tasteful as possible. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but we want ones that are stable, to stay there, function, and these actually get attached to the ground. So I'm not particularly, we used to hear things like you can't do it, and my car and all this. to me, I really don't care. If a kid gets hit, this board should all resign if we didn't put a speed bump up where we should have. So, we're gonna continue with that, and they are expensive, they're not cheap, but again, you know, sometimes in a community, it's money well spent.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
on the speed bumps,
Yeah,
I probably had 24 people talk to me about it.
good,
And every one of them, every one of the comments was positive.
good.
And the one complaint was, they're not long enough, because people are driving around. So if we could add one in some locations,
Sure.
they said it would be greatly appreciated.
Sure, we have done that in a couple spots, so some of the areas of the roads are narrow and it works fine, just one, but some of them need to. We're working on that. So we will come around to that. You know, Jimmy, you broke my thought. That's why I'm interrupting when you go. So I had a couple of good meetings with different organizations this week. It seems to get, when people know I'm in Village Hall, more and more people want to have a meeting, so that's good. I think that's important. Please be, aware that if the public or anybody wants to have a meeting and you walk into Village Hall, I'm not there, they usually give you my cell phone number, or please, I'll meet you on a Saturday, or I'll meet you in the morning. I'm in Village Hall most mornings, for usually longer than I would like, but it's okay, it's part of the job. So if you need something, please call, please stop in. And again, I'll meet you anytime, we can have coffee, whatever you want. I mean, usually I make Jim come down and buy it, so that's always a blessing. And I want to say a couple of quick things. At the last town board meeting, we talked about a couple of things. And I don't want to end with this. So I want to talk real quick about roosters and chickens. Most communities I talk to that are similar to us, they don't really talk about roosters and chickens. Why I have to talk about roosters and chickens perplexes me. But when I thought about it, after I got about the 5th complaint, I remember being on the village board when a young lady wanted to get the village board to approve a little pot-bellied pig. That was her pet. And I'm not sure if it was like a, pet for, to keep you calm, or like a, what do they call that? Service, like a service animal. So, and believe it or not, at the time the board approved it, I remember being on that board and voting in favor of it. And I understood it. She had a lot of information. It was the cutest little pig you'd ever seen. It actually wore a little diaper, and it was a good vote for that little pot-bellied pig. However, if you live in the village confines, you need to have an approval from the board to own chickens and roosters. And what I said at the town board meeting, which I'm sure my attorney's going to cringe, but at some point, I'm just going to hire a company to go on your property and take the chickens and the rooster. I hope you're watching this video. I hope it makes it into the paper. I don't care at this point. I've had one too many complaints about chickens and roosters. We're going to probably take the chickens and roosters and either bring them to a farm and release them, or we're going to hold them until you come and finally answer the notices that we keep trying to send you, and you don't show up to the door. We mail them to you. We certify mail them to you. We have the cops go to your house, and you still don't answer the door. My patience is just about gone. I'm sure my attorney's going to send me an email tomorrow and say, don't send somebody on your property to remove the chickens and the roosters. I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm tired of getting the complaints. You need approval from the board. If the board wants to approve it, and whoever votes for that, I'm going to send the complaints to you for chickens and roosters. Not only does it cause a noise issue, it creates other animals. We do live in the Hudson Valley, so it's going to create other type of predatory animals to come into the area. I've seen coyotes on Mountain Avenue. I've seen foxes on Villa. I'm not saying that these critters wouldn't be here regardless, but usually if you take a food supply away, the predators go away. So I just want the board to be cognizant of it. I'll probably do it, and then you guys can yell at me or whatever you want to do. I'm sure the attorney's she's already probably getting nervous. But at some point, after I've tried to send you 10 notices, the building department has tried to send you notices. Code enforcement's trying to, I've got police officers stopping to go deal with your chickens and roosters, and you don't want to answer the door? I've had it. So I said it at the town board meeting. 2 weeks ago, was it? You were there, Leah. You were laughing at that time too. But I'm not dealing with it. I am not dealing with it. And I don't think any member of this board should have to deal with it. I definitely don't think the public should have to deal with it. So if they're not going to abide by the rules, then they're going to lose their privilege that they don't even have approval for. So that's my little rooster and chickens.
The eggs still too expensive, you know?
Yeah, I understand that, you know, eggs go up, but this is not farmland. This is, we're a dense community. If you want chickens and eggs, I hate to lose you as a resident, but go to Fort Montgomery. They have a little bigger piece of property and you can, you're in the woods.
The chicken, they don't make no noise or nothing like that.
It's a health issue. I got an issue. I've got an issue in the village right now that the chickens are producing so much waste.
Oh, it's too much then, too many.
It's too many. You know, again, if you want approval, if you say, hey, I want to have 2 chickens, that's something for the board to consider.
What about if you have a close backyard, like fence, you have a fence?
It's case by case. That's exactly why the law is the way it is. So these folks didn't even bother to do that. They circumvented it.
The rooster, I understand because they made a lot of noise.
So anyway, that's my little speech about chickens and roosters. And I just want to end on a very good note. We're going to have a quick executive session. So at the town board meeting, there were 5 individuals. We talked about youth at the beginning of the meeting. I want to end it with the youth at the end. And there was an article in the paper last week about 5 kids who helped rescue a family at Brooks's Park in Fort Montgomery. And I didn't know that, I was not told that that was going to happen at the town board meeting, and that's okay. I was happy that the supervisor invited me up to say something. It's a fantastic story, and I just want to mention their names. They're going to be honored also at the legislative meeting in Orange County on July, I just want to say 3rd. So I'm going to attend that meeting and give something from the village. I think it's important. They don't all live in the village, but it doesn't matter. They're youth in the community and they did something great. I mean, I don't know if people would have drowned. It doesn't matter. They just jumped into action. And I say they saved some lives, and I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic story. So Alex McLeod, John and Patrick Flynn, Jessica Tracy, and Kanae Tessaro. 5 members of the youth, just like the folks who stood up in front of us, did a fantastic job. And now, the mock trial team saving lives, but they will maybe one day if they're an attorney and you're wrongfully accused. But these 5 kids jumped into a lake, a pond, and saved some people. I mean, that's a huge story. So God bless those kids.
And they were there because they were playing wiffle ball.
And they were there, right.
Out off their phone.
They weren't there like some of the kids I have to deal with. They weren't there like some of the kids I have to deal with that are destroying the bathrooms at Oak Park, but they were saving lives. So
June, it's going to be July 1st.
July 1st, okay, good, perfect. So I'll be there to thank them as well. So with that, I have nothing. Motion to executive session for personnel.
Jim, one more thing, I didn't forget the community dinner, I'm sorry, Carol.
Community dinner at Honey Innocents this Saturday from 4 to 5:30.
4 to 5, and that's by the clergy association. Thank you, yeah, I meant to mention that, sorry.
A motion to go into executive session for personnel.
Motion.
Second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.